You see the little shit going. That's a video. Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning, once again, Bob Arum. And Bob Arum says this about Anthony Joshua. He says that he's unsure on whether Anthony Joshua is an elite heavyweight. He states this: "I'm not thrilled with Joshua," said Arum when speaking to Gareth Davis. "I don't think much of Joshua because every time the name Joshua is mentioned, I see him laying on the canvas after hit by a non-puncher like Andy Ruiz." Ooh. And here we go, people. That was funny. My counterpunch, it was funny, because I could imagine Bob saying that. Imagine Bob saying that, for shits and giggles. "I don't think much of Joshua because every time the name Joshua's mentioned, I see him land on the canvas after he got hit by a non-puncher like Andy Ruiz." All right, now let me counterpunch. For one, Bob Arum is not alone with that particular vision, okay? That's not only Bob, that's a lot of people that have that perception of Joshua, okay? Since that fight, Joshua has been known as a quitter, which I have a separate video for that coming tomorrow. He's known as a person with no chinny, and of course, a person with no heart, like Wilder said. So when you see something happen, okay, when you see it happening, seeing is believing. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Something we haven't heard in a long time. No. Seeing something, you want to believe that something when you see that something. Okay, that makes more sense to people by the eye. Something you see, something that's tangible, something that's possible, you see from these eyes here. You see it happen, you're like, oh shit, that actually happened. And then when you see Joshua take that type of beating, you could easily think, hey, he could take that beating again. Okay, so that's not out of the ordinary from Bob Arum, right? So a lot of people think like Bob. However, a lot of people might think like Bob in that instance, but only in that instance. Because let me tell you why. If it was anyone else, he wouldn't have that perception of Anthony Joshua. The only reason he has that perception of Anthony Joshua because the guy that did that to him was Andy Ruiz. And by the way, he's not a guy that's a non-puncher. Ruiz is a puncher, okay? He has fast hands. Is he the hardest puncher? No, he's not. But he is a puncher, okay? He wants to get in there and trade shots with you. Now, based on what I saw in his last performance, he's a brawler. He's a puncher. He needs to get on the inside. He has a 74-inch reach. He's 6'2", which is probably about 6 foot. I don't think he's 6'2", because I'm 6'2", and I think I got him by a couple inches. Okay, but 34 wins, 22 by KO, and 2 losses. Okay, well, that sounds like a person that, 22 knockouts out of 34 fights. Come on now. You're saying a person can't knock you out with that type of record? Hell, I can understand if he was 34 and 12 or 10 or 8. You know what I'm saying? Half the amount of fights that he fought. But no, that's a high percentage amount of fights that he knocked out people out versus he's won. So I don't see where he comes off with that. So what's the angle? Okay, people, if you don't know, let me explain to you once again. Bob Arum was once Andy Ruiz's promoter. He was his promoter. He had him for a while. Bob Arum went through the same experience with Andy Ruiz like other fighters have. like Oscar De La Hoya, like Floyd Mayweather, like Manny Pacquiao, like Mikey Garcia, like a lot of other fighters, Rigondeaux. He's been in situations where it was always a discrepancy of pay and he did not want to pay and they went to court or they did other things. They either had to pay themselves out of the contract or they had to take him to court. And either way it went, he had bad blood ever since. Okay, these are facts, people. These guys do not like Bob Arum because of the way Bob Arum handled business. Why? Because my counterpunch on Bob Arum is he's a guy that's been around forever and he doesn't sympathize or empathize or really consider the barometer of how the increase in boxing wages happen. He doesn't. Why does it take hard fights like Sean Porter or Keith Thurman or Mikey Garcia with Lomachenko and these type of fights that never get fucking made because of him, because of money, or once upon a time discrepancies of money. Okay, so to see a guy that he does not like, does not respect, don't give any credit to, like Andy Ruiz, doing that to Anthony Joshua, on top of Anthony Joshua was one of those dudes that he did have respect for until that happened. It left a bad taste in Bob Arum's mouth, by the way. That's, in other words, what's happening with Bob Arum. And Bob Arum will not respect that until Anthony Joshua does something to redeem himself. Even when Pulev was around, he thought Pulev was going to do it. He beat the piss out of him. That didn't work. Okay, so if your fighter that had one loss against Klitschko couldn't do the job with Anthony Joshua and you still don't want to give him credit, people, chances are Bob Arum will not give Anthony Joshua or will never give Anthony Joshua credit for doing anything unless he knocks out Tyson Fury, and I doubt that happens then. They just got lucky. It's a luckless punch. This is a heavyweight division. We'll probably hear something like that because Bob ain't going nowhere. I'm double vaccinated, bastards. Pass me the hemp. Anthony Joshua's still a simp. Bars. So that's, I think, is the backstory. And I know that's the backstory behind Bob Arum, Andy Ruiz, and Anthony Joshua. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this counterpunch on Bob Arum. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.